Hello, I'm Explosive, and welcome to the video. Today, I'm revisiting Pirates of the Caribbean Online, a childhood game I loved, which, of course, this isn't that, because that got dumped, if I'm not mistaken, by Disney for Club Penguin. The Pirates of the Caribbean Online, along with Toontown and some others, just got dropped like that. So, it- this is or fan made remake or fans keeping it going. Labor of Love. I was actually surprised to see the prison dog in there. I looks like they finally bamboozled him. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. So I heard about this game coming online again. I think I first heard it back in 2017, around there. I think that's when it did. And I remember back when I first was trying Legends of the Pirates Online. That's what it's called now. If you want to play it, it's completely free to play, and it's much more in depth than I remember. But I remember back then, I had to actually reserve time, and you'd only have like limited time slots. I think it was easy to get a time slot, but sometimes it did reach capacity, and it's just something that they had to do. But yeah, no problem hopping in and making a character, and this was really brought me back. So I think this game came out in 2007. I know I was in middle school and a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. And I remember when I heard this game come out, our computer, our family computer, we had a Windows PC. We went through a few, but I think we actually had um, an E-machines one that was actually sit in the hallway. I remember we had a little stool, little hydraulic rolling chair that had no back to it, but it was in the middle of our hallway. And growing up, the hallway was very weird. Like it's a small, it's almost like a room. It is a hallway, but it feels like a weird shaped hallway. But there's 10 doors, doors or doorways. 10 doors or doorways in that hall alone. And in there is enough room, I guess, for, I said I guess, because I'm thinking about, well, I mean, we never really had much problem for it. You didn't have to, like, slide past the chair unless you rolled out. But the family computer is there. So talk about trying to get privacy on that computer. That wasn't a thing. But let's see, it was middle school. I didn't really need it. One of the things I would do, what I try to do, is play this game. And right now, I'm just revisiting the tutorial for the first time since first trying this fan-made reboot. Um, and I love like all of this. Although it feels a lot further along. Like I must have played closer to the beginning back in the day. But yeah. So actually, I think I had like originally interrupted a thought and started thinking about that. But I will say that I don't actually remember that ship sinking. I remember when I played this back in the day, Bo Beck actually like glitching at least every time for me. Like you'd see him sliding to the edge of that ship, like you would see through there. And there's a few bits of dialogue that I don't actually remember, or they're dialogues that I remember being removed, and specifically when it came to seeing Will Turner in the old warehouse. I'm pretty sure before we saw the what do you call the guys? Those undead. Before we saw them, I'm pretty sure he talked about the Navy being after him, or Beckett's men being after him, and the EITC. They and you'd hear him like knocking at the doors or something like that. It's not like spawning behind him. So yeah, I I really enjoyed this game. And actually, I must have been early on because I remember, I think if you got the unlimited access early on as a um, as a supporter, I believe there was a limited edition headband. Yeah, I think it was like the stereotypical, or it was like a do-rag for your guy. It was um, black with a white skull and crossbones. And I thought that was so cool, and I wanted that for my character. And I think I tried to convince my parents, and eventually I think I softened them up because I remember before this, and actually more so than this, because it was easier to run on my computer. I played a lot more RuneScape than I did this, and eventually a few times I managed to convince my dad to get me membership on there. Well, he also got me unlimited access for a little while in here, but I do remember it being just a little too late and not actually getting that limited edition item that I wanted. And but I do remember I think there was later like a red bandana with maybe like gold skull and crossbones on it. I don't remember exactly, but anyways, I had a lot of fun with it. But there's a lot of this that I don't remember, like coming back to this, and actually, yeah. So what I'm trying to do, even though like I'm trying to avoid any copyright claims, especially with Disney. But clearly, I realize in the um, cutscenes, the music was still playing, and I had turned the music off just because I figured whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna play whatever, and it's a lot more enjoyable, even though it's not I don't want to say it's phenomenal by any means, but it was much more enjoyable to play that with that in the background. So, whatever. Yeah, I tried lowering it enough that I hope it doesn't actually cause any problems. But if it does, it does. Whatever. We're just here. We're having fun. I also don't remember that castle at least being this close. The fort. I feel like I remember this being more of a hill that you run up, and I think you'll see in a little bit here that I actually run up to run up the hill a little bit, but I feel like I remember this area being open and there being kind of two lanes with a lot more trees in the middle. But and then also we see well, I guess I'm just getting ahead at this point. I started looking at the chest and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can actually like check stuff out here." But he's still glitching through me. See, on that E-Machine's computer, this game was so slow and laggy, and even though it looked dated when it came out, it a lot of the animations were like lag for me, even like in this playthrough, and actually honestly between me recording this narration and when I played this earlier, I played a lot more, and I feel like a lot of those glitches or the bugs or whatever, it feels like they're still there, which is, it's totally fine. It was super enjoyable. But yeah, I don't know if you just saw it up there. There were the gallows were there. I feel like I remember having to go inside the fort to see the gallows, much more akin to the Curse of the Black Pearl. And I thought that was more accurate. I don't know. This is like one area that I'm not as satisfied with, though. I do remember that mini game, not from the time I originally played, but from in 2017 when I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" But yeah, they sure added a lot to this, because I think that was my biggest complaint as a kid. I just I was bummed that so many people would just say something generic and they wouldn't talk to me. I mean, this is before I'm playing stuff from like Larian Studios and whoever, where everybody had something to say. And but yeah, I all of this, man, even just watching it back now, this feels so familiar. Even though this area I think is different too than what I remember. I was early on when I played it, but let me tell you, in and actually, hold on. Well, you're gonna see. I'm gonna throw a little disclaimer out there right now. I'm not editing this footage. It's just kind of like, one shot. We're hanging out. That's kind of the whole idea. Is I wanted to get the old YouTube vibe, but we're narrating, and that, at least early on, I wanted to narrate it without editing the footage. But we are about to come into this objective says visit Teodalma, and we go through to where the light is, and it is actually glitched for me. I don't know if this is for everybody else, but it did not look that great for me, because you're gonna see, like, I don't know if you'll hear her, because she's actually I lowered the volume, but I think it's not till the very end that we actually see her, and it looks like we're just like looking at trees or whatever, and I'm like, or looking through leaves or whatever. So that's not gonna look that great. But oh yeah, and I think there's somebody right there who must have a custom name, because it just says Swashbuckler, um, that I was just running alongside for a good portion of this beginning stretch. But yeah, so as you can see the dialogue. I don't know if you can hear, because I'm gonna lower the volume at this point. But she's still there. This is just as I remember, except for I can't see her. But we will see her towards the end of this section, a little bit in the lower left-hand corner. But yeah. So I was just, what's funny is I thought I was gonna play a pirate game soon, because I actually said this in my last video, that I would always say, like, oh, I love the Lord of the Rings, and I love the what you call it, or I love Pirates of the Caribbean, but then I feel like, well, I know comparison is the thief of joy, but if I take a look at, how I feel about it, like compared to other people, I'm not nearly as expressive or creative, but it really don't matter. I really just enjoy this franchise. I thought maybe I might play Sid Meier's Pirate, which great game also from my childhood that I'll play at some point. I thought I'd go back through Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I don't know if I'd ever. I think if I played that again, I would play it more sandboxy. I beat that story. I don't need to do that, but I would probably just do all the stuff in it. But yeah, I think I was on YouTube earlier, and I remembered this, and I just was looking some stuff up. Out there's Theodalma. Um, and yeah, I know how to use the compass. I just wanted to see this. Actually, I think I remember early on. I don't think they had the background in the compass. I think it was always clear all the time. But but yeah, so I just had in my mind that I wanted to play something, pirate themed. And as a kid, like, because I love the franchise, and I remember playing this game, and I just loved it. I loved the idea, and pretending like I would dream about being a pirate, which obviously, you know, that life. I think it's the same thing as, like, if somebody dreams about fighting dragons, or being a knight or whatever. I mean, obviously, there's the innocence of dreaming, and where there maybe we choose not to pay attention to, like, yeah, that could be very dangerous, or that could be like the end of you or something like that. And obviously, I think, like, if you ask me, even as a kid, like, I didn't actually want to be a pirate, but I just, like, I think I loved the movies, and I would have loved, if I was, older when they came out, to even be like an extra, or just be in that world. You know what I mean? Be one of, actually, for a while when I did career aptitude tests, especially middle school, one of the common things that popped up in my top 10 was to be a stuntman. Now, I have no experience at all with that, but I genuinely was looking at becoming a wrestler before I got injured. Well, not from wrestling. Before I got in a car accident my senior year of high school, and I just never explored that option. But so I'm saying, like, I already had in my mind that, like, hey, I know falling is a big part of that. So who knows? Maybe I could have went to stuntman school or something like that, and maybe it would have been a fit. But this, I would have loved to be around the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, at least back then. But so now now I feel like this section feels like it's mostly familiar, at least the area around the governor's mansion before we came inside. I don't remember it always saying press escape to skip in the corner on cutscenes. But yeah. But going back to being in the hallway, sitting on that stool where that rolling chair that I didn't really have the best posture on. I remember my dad around that time because one of the doorways like nearby the computer was into the kitchen. He was going on a kick where he would buy Diet Verner's. He'd have 2 liters of it, and actually put it in. He would put it in the fridge and let it get cold. But because I think he would periodically drink it, but usually when he got down to like the last third of it or whatever, he'd ask me if I want it. And I like the Verner's. I like Diet Verner's. And the thing about the label on that, at least I mean, I realize that regular it's green, and so maybe not exactly, but like the texture of the label, and if you ever seen like one of the cans, it reminds you of a barrel. I think that's intentional, but I used to pretend it was rum. Like, why is the rum always gone? As Captain Jack would say. And I'm over there as an innocent middle schooler, drinking my Diet Verners, and just like, yo ho ho, it's a pirate's life for me. And just sailing around in this game. It's like, it just brings smile to my face right now. You probably could hear my smile right now. Um, I just it was great. It was great. Um, but yeah, so I've noticed I'm trying to slow down a little bit in games, but I am just cruising through this, and I'm really confused because it feels like I don't know what was here, like these mini games. When I played this game initially, I don't think there were actually any mini games. I don't remember mini games being a part of it. Um, but you know what? I mean, it was fun for what it is. I do remember being able to, as we'll see later on in this video. I think, because I'm trying to remember what's in this video and what I did when I was playing later. But you can actually there are mini games when you're on your ship out at sea to repair your ship while you're out at sea. Now I remember initially not being able to repair your ship at sea, but then I think when it first implemented, I don't remember there being any mini games. I think it used to be just like a loading bar. But you'll see, like, I think you play these mini games like out there as well. But it's funny, this nail hammering game reminds me my my 6-year-old has been getting into the old Humongous Entertainment games and playing Putt Putt Joins the Race, and there's a little like hammering nails mini game where you got to make sure that you're hitting it correctly like that, otherwise you have to like straighten them out and whatnot. And she really enjoyed that, and that just kind of made me smile as I'm playing this. I'm like, hey, this is different than from what she was doing. And I thought about calling my ship the cute something, but no, actually, well, I feel like what I ended up actually choosing wasn't that far off from cute, but yeah. I'm gonna say something real quick. If well, not real quick. I'm trying to go slow down. We're a healthy ways into this video that if you're around here, I really hope you're just enjoying it. Like we're just hanging out. That's really what I want to do here. And as somebody who has made YouTube videos off and on, had different channels since probably about the time I was playing this, honestly. Um, but I never sustained anything. I decided to go back to the old school narrating videos, a format I always loved, but I realized I never actually did, partially back in the day because I didn't have a mic, but then it was trying to keep up with the latest and greatest and trying to, stand out by fitting in quality wise, I guess. Um, this is only my second narration like video over just like, you know, some gameplay footage. And right now, like I said, I'm not even editing it right now. And I'm really enjoying this. Like, in fact, if you make this kind of content, or if you have anybody where that's you would recommend that they narrate, and it's just like hanging out, that they narrate game footage without it being edited and like in your face and whatnot. If there's anything like that, let me know in the comments actually, because that's something that I would that I'd really like to hear. Because like the thing is, where I know I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this every single day, but I feel like I want to do this as often as I can, because recording, like, okay, so talking about the game after I played, like for the purpose of narration, gets me to appreciate what I've actually played. And I guess where I will say this, I think my first video, I only have 8 subscribers at the time of recording this, but my first video has 11 views, and I think that like 8 or 9 of them were for me. Like today, I was doing my taxes, I was cleaning up and like doing stuff, and I just like playing it because I realized that that's the kind of content that I enjoy and that I like. And I know it sounds like self-serving, and I know that like if you watch your own content, it might count against you. But I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I don't care. I This is the kind of content that I enjoy, and so that's what we're doing. And if you actually listen to that first one, I was playing Skyrim, and compared to this one, I'll say so far that like it's I'm getting a lot more comfortable just talking out loud. So this is the one I plan on talking about, but I also realized that I don't know exactly what I'm gonna talk about. I just kind of let it happen organically. But yeah, chilling here on Devil's Anvil. Um, I remember I tried to get of my real life friends into this game at different points in time, and they both were, I don't know if reluctance is the right word. I don't know how hard I had to twist their arm, but I feel like they were willing to try it out to play a game with me, and on separate occasions, and neither one of them really liked it. Actually, one of them, I mean, I had offered, so I did get the access. Hold on, actually, if I actually reach over on my desk right now, on the leftover from the unlimited access, oh my gosh, actually, yeah, hold on, I can actually, I'm sorry, the unlimited access stuff. I actually don't see the letter right now. I know I just came across it because I'm like calling down all my like gaming stuff that like I don't really want to hold on to and whatnot. But in my hands, I'm holding. They sent one of the things they sent was the Pirates of the Caribbean logo on a flag, and it says "Dead Men Tell No Tales," and it says PiratesOnline.com. I'm keeping this flag. I love it, and I remember as a part of if they also had like a letter about the access to you. I know I'm gonna find it once I'm done recording this. It's gonna be annoying. I'm like, you know what? I'll read this off. Just a throwback to anybody. I'm guessing if somebody's watching this that they played this as a kid and they enjoyed it, or whatever. But no. One of the things that also came out with were 2 unlimited access passes. It might have been for 7 days or for 14 days. I don't actually remember the full amount, but I remember giving one of them to one of them, and I think he only ever played one session with me, and then he never went back online, and the other one never got redeemed. And yeah, this was one that I remember also starting a guild back in the day, and then trying to like, I'm gonna make, I know nothing about running guilds. Hard for me to imagine in middle school that they were a serious thing. As I come to find out in MMOs, that's a serious thing. Not something I was up for at all. I mean, I think I've learned that I like running just my own guild with just my friends in it, or even if it's a guild of one, which really isn't one at all. I just like doing my own thing, like kind of like in Warframe, I will run my own clan but I got a few of my friends in that. Anyways, I'm veering off the subject. So what I was wondering is, Devil's Anvil in that case supposed to be Ilya de Muerta? Because I feel like I remember seeing that island at some point when I was playing back in the day, but I actually am not 100% sure when I say that. Um, Hello, my childhood. So I'm like, sure, I'll write something down. But you know what's funny is like the gameplay loop of this game is so simple. Just like do this, do this, do this, and it's like it keeps updating, it keeps get you rewarding you keep going. It's fun, but like it's also nice when they give you like get this and this done. And I don't know. I feel like this is one of the games. I don't know if maybe I'm just failing to remember something right now, but in games in recent memories, I feel like this is one of those games where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to complete as much stuff as I can before I go that way, and I'm kind of like planning out my route um along the way, trying to get, so the next time I'm in port, I am able to complete a few quests or get a few things done. Um, yeah, I'll just say I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast even watching this back. I think it was and then even the Tortuga Shores look different. Everything just like it looks the same, but it looks different, and that's why I realized if this game didn't shut down till I think it was 2013, I definitely didn't play it in the later years. I think I just remember it very early on, and I remember watching. You can still find them on YouTube when this game was launching. Disney put out videos about like a whole bunch of people going to a convention and having a chance to put their hands or go hands on with it, when it's launching, and you get people all excited, and I'm just like, oh, back in the day, like I really want to be a part of that, like that would have been one of the events if it was like in today's day and age and social media. I'm like, no, I want to be there. I want to do things, like I want to see all the videos, all the angles, and all the edits, and no, it was just like it might have been a handful of videos, or it might have just been one video that I watched over and over again. But yeah, the weirdest thing actually, speaking about that, early on, I wonder if this was just in the demo. One of the weirdest things is you see them in like steering their ship up to the dock. Like, the dock in the beginning of um The Curse of the Black Pearl, when Jack Sparrow's on the sinking ship, just rolling in with, I guess, as the kids would say this day and age, aura. I'm sorry, I thought of the word. I don't use the word, so I'm clarifying that, making it painfully obvious that that ain't me. Um, Anyways, it was like that dock or something where it looked like they pulled a ship directly up to it and then got out, or they got onto it from there. And I'm like, it's always been a cutscene, as you would have, as you've seen, as we've been playing this. It's always been like, to the dinghy and then a loading screen and you're on the ship. And I kind of like, I always wished that I'm like, oh, I think this would be so cool if I could just, pull up to the dock in my own in my ship. And it took me a long time to realize. So like, okay, so he said, "Can you find Josh and Gibbs?" And I always thought it was funny because Gibbs is literally right behind him in the cutscene. I don't know if you caught that. And also, like, the one thing you'll see, like, I think when I'm looking around here, um, see, like, it looks like he was holding cards, and I'm like, wait, is he holding a book? I thought you could play blackjack here. I know you can play Hold'em at the other table, but I thought you could play blackjack there. And then I think as time went on, I don't know if I realized when I was recording this or later on, I'm pretty sure blackjack's actually at one of the taverns. I can't remember the name of the tavern in Port Royal. But yeah. And actually, speaking of like looking at like what's old and what's new, what do I recognize? One of the last things I recognized before I was done playing, like I think I might even had a gap between when I originally played, and then there was a period of time where I think I came back to it for a bit, was those two islands with the French and Spanish flags. I think that's what it was, and where they're at like a war, and you can kind of like join them or whatever, or on your side. I remember seeing leaderboards and all for that. Man, this game is a trip, but I'll tell you, I have a really tough time with MMOs because like. So I played RuneScape back in the day. I love it. I played Pirates of the Caribbean Online back in the day. Loved it. Um, and there just there was always people coming and going. Some people just talking. Some people just being silly or whatever. And yeah. But nowadays it just feels like everything is a shadow of its former self. And maybe that's just getting older. Maybe it's just you know, it just it's always bittersweet. You know what I mean? And yeah, maybe that's a sign of getting older. Let's see. I don't have a ton of time left. I got one story I didn't think I was gonna say, but I threw one out. I remember actually one of those stories that I thought of this when I first rolled up to Tortuga was I think because again I was in middle school and I hadn't ever dated anybody up to some point. Somebody wanted to be my one of my characters to be their boyfriend, and this person they seemed like serious in all their dialogue or whatnot. Like hey, and there's a whole bunch of people like at Tortuga, but nobody's like talking. You got AFK people and whatever. And say hey, I gotta get off now, and like hey, like making sure like almost like they're afraid that I was gonna run away. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And then like once they logged off, I had to put it out publicly, like, what the heck? Like, yeah, I'm blocking her or something like that. And that's just like one of those points. Like I don't even remember exactly what was said, but I just remember being like, yeah, it was an embarrassing time because again, like I'm just in the hallway at my house, or like, and I'm like, no, nobody's gonna like take the time to read my messages over my shoulder. At least in a video game, they would if you're like on MSN Messenger or Facebook back in the day. But yeah, and then actually, so this time around, I'm having a little bit of fun playing with this. I'm like, I don't know how long I'm gonna go with it because before, when I was obsessed with finishing my backlog, I was like, only buying the games on Steam. Well, I think this was me breaking away from it. I think I would have played this game a lot more if it was on Steam. It's a weird psychological thing where you just want my library together, and also it neatly tracks your stats. But aside from that, I'm playing this and I'm looking at. I feel like the main quest line is lackluster in that, you're gathering the whole crew. I think I was on the third or fourth member for myself. But I do remember the nice thing about it in this game is that you can actually invite other players into your crew. So the end of the quest line, because the whole thing's leading up to, is taking the Black Pearl back from the East India Trading Company. Well, for that boss battle, people will recruit for it, and I can't remember if it was like 6 or might have been 9 people in the crew total. But it was pretty intense. Basically, you're trying to get out of the harbor, trying to destroy barricades, if I'm remembering correctly, and attacking other ships. And it's just it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge. But what it I remember I only ever got a chance at it with one crew, and I think most of these were like level actually, and this is one of the things too. Like it says you can level up to level 50. I think when I started, you can only level up to level 40, and I think the highest level I ever got on a character was level 28. And it says you can get to level 30 on each of the weapons skills, and I think back then the limit was 25. But I was, my highest level, my notoriety was 28, and I don't remember what level. I think I got to 20 with my cutlass. That was my main skill. And I think I was 18 in shipping. Oh my gosh, I'm remembering stuff vividly. Anyways, there were a whole bunch of maxed out people on the crew, and we kept losing. And the whole time I'm like, clearly the lower level. There might have been some upper 30s, but I was the only one in the 20s. And I was just finally like, hey, can I get it? Can I try it out? And they're like, sure, whatever, for being the captain, trying to maneuver. And I just remember, like, it was so intense. And also, keep in mind, I don't think my computer was like the fastest because like it was rough at one point, but then we like it was rough when I initially played. We might have had an upgrade. I don't remember that or whether we did or not. But I remember like of course we're getting towards the end, like we're on fire, and just remember getting towards the end of the harbor and there's like a boss, like, and I'm sorry, spoiler alerts for whoever's listening, I guess. Maybe I should say that, but this game's been out, or like this game went offline like 13 years ago. I think. Anyways, and I just remember my whole instinct was to just sail. How fast, how far can I go, and just go. And we got out of range, and and the burning stopped, and then we just like we lined up, and we just all were just gunning, and I don't know if people are rotating out on the cannons or not. I don't know. Maybe my mind's just come out with that, but we're just launching from a distance, and that big ship is, excuse me, coming towards me, and I just remember we barely got it. So I was the one to captain that boss battle, and I'll tell you what, that that's one of like the feathers in my cap as far as gaming goes. Like I was so proud of myself for getting that done. Like I loved that, and yeah, so that's one of the things I remember, and the only other thing I guess I didn't say it here, but I wrote a book last year that definitely needs editing and a few more drafts, but not related to that book. I've kind of created my own fantasy world like a lot of people do. One that I thought I originally wanted to turn into a video game before I realized I hate programming. Well, it's medieval fantasy, but I've always loved pirates, even though pirates were a historical thing. There are different takes on pirates and whatnot. I'm like, I think pirates are in that world, but I didn't know if I was going to ever write about them. But now I'm thinking about, in this world that I want to write stories in, how interesting would it be? It's medieval fantasy, but to go from the standpoint of pirates. But and I feel like anything I've seen with pirates has been like airships and stuff. I don't know if I'm thinking Final Fantasy or whatnot or whatever, but I never really was biggest fan of that. But I just like, I don't know, it'd be a chance to do right by the pirate genre because I feel like the pirate genre hurts for some good representation. I mean, after all, the best video game of pirates would say is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Great game, I highly recommend it. But at the same time, I would say that Legend of the Pirates Online is a pretty good pirates game too.